So and we start with Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah, and we continue with its first chapter and halacha number 11. Also, it's going to be very long. All right. So some of them were very short, as we saw, but some of them pretty extensive. So let's see. Since it has been clarified that he, in Hashem, does not have a body or a corporeal form, it is also clear that none of the functions of the body are appropriate to him, neither connection nor separation, neither place nor measure, neither ascent nor descent, neither right nor left, neither front nor back, neither standing nor sitting. He is not found within time, so that he would he neither would possess a beginning and the end or age. He does not change, for there is nothing that can that cause him to change. The concept of death is not applicable to him, nor is that of life within the concept of physical life. The concept of foolishness is not applicable to him. Foolishness. Nor is the wisdom, in terms of the human wisdom. Neither sleep nor awaking, neither anger nor laughter, neither joy nor sadness, neither silence nor speech. In human understanding of speech, appropriate terms with which to describe him. Our sages declared, above there is no sitting, standing, separation, or connection. Okay. That's a lot of information. Wow, that's right. As you see, it's he went, Rambam, just from reading this, you can understand that he went through the whole Tanakh and gather all of these examples where it's going to say in Torah that Hashem got up from his throne and he went down to see, right, what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? It says that he got down, right? It says that now he's angry and now he's happy or something. Okay, so let's see. Or he thought, right? Or he, what was the expression? Just one second. That he changed his. It's not that he changed that he regretted created man, right? All these expressions. Okay, so let's see. So from the beginning, Beezrat Hashem, with we need a lot of siyata dishmaya with this, with everything, but this close to 101%. Okay, so let's see from the beginning. Since it has been clarified that he, Hashem, does not have a body, so in the previous halachas, or corporeal forms. Okay. It is also clear that none of the functions of the body are appropriate to him. So meaning if he does not have a corporeal body, right? So why would a person would think there is some bodily, right, functions of the body appropriate to him? How, like sitting and eating and drinking and sleeping and stuff like that. How is it possible? Because it's because there is expressions like this in the Torah. Right, so meaning we have to understand why they're there. Okay. Neither connection nor separation, right? Because nor separation, neither place nor measure. So here's 55 commenting. The three-dimensional length, width, and depth apply only with the context of the physical reality, and thus cannot ascribe him. Though the Torah and the prophets will occasionally refer to God in this context, there are, as explained in the following halacha, only metaphors employed to allow us to comprehend certain aspects of godliness in terms we can relate to. In the Guide of the Perplexed, Volume 1, Chapter 8, the Rambam defines that which is meant by the metaphor of place. Okay, metaphor of place. So that's makom, right? In Hebrew, we say makom. So, right, Is makom is a place, right? But on one hand, but on another hand, that's when between ben adam lechavera, ben adam lemakom, right? Ben adam, from there are laws between man and man, and there are laws between man and Hashem. So makom is a place. So again, let's see from the beginning. Try to get deeper insight. So 3 dimensions: length, width, and depth. So meaning this 3D, three dimensions, right? Apply only within the concept of physical reality, and thus cannot be ascribed to him. So everything is physical, does not ascribe. But on one hand, but we see in Torah uses these terms, right? And Hashem was standing over the mountain, right? Although the Torah and the prophets will occasionally refer to God in this context, there, as explained in the following halacha, only metaphors are employed to allow us to comprehend the aspect of godliness, right, in terms so that we can relate to, right. So meaning something that we can imagine what is going on, but that's it. That's where it ends. Okay. Of course, but foolish people say, but is it that? Doesn't it say? Yeah, it says that, but that's not what it means. Okay, continue after 55. Neither ascent or descent, right? Ascent or descent, and right, and then the Shem said that the Shechina went down 10 levels, right, and the 10th level was when we received the Torah, and then we did the golden calf, and it started like ascending, right, level by level, all these things, right. We had a clip how low can a Shechina be, like, descent. Very interesting. I'm not sure. I think we did not publish it. Just one of the recent clips. Okay, so no problem. Okay. So all of this again, there is no ascent or descent, neither right or left. Right, even though it says in Torah, you see, Rambam is very, very careful. It says, and Hashem lifted his right hand and he swore. Right. I mean, it's for us to understand that that's how, like, when person is going to swear. For example, somebody is called in a court, and they have a monetary dispute. Right, and some monetary dispute. One say this, another say that, and we would will make a person to swear. Right, he would say, lift up his right hand, and sometimes he would make him to hold the Torah scroll or tefillin, right, and swear. Okay, no problem. So, like, so meaning this swear, like, that's how we imagine a person to swear. So in a sense, like, we understand what is going on from description. Left hand, okay. Neither front nor back, right? As we said yesterday, I've read when that Moshe Rabbeinu saw Hashem from the back. What do you mean from the back? Okay. Neither standing nor sitting. Right, so Hashem was sitting at like when Moshe Rabbeinu, right, from a Talmud, when Moshe Rabbeinu went up in heaven, so he came to the one of the inner chambers, whatever it means, the inner chambers, and he saw Hashem sitting and writing the crowns on a Torah scroll, right, in above the letters. What is Hashem is sitting? What is he's writing? Okay. So just so we know, like, all these terms were, like, Rambam gathered them around and put them in one place. So all metaphors, commentary. All these concepts are applicable only to material beings, right? Though at times the Torah uses the expression to describe God, as we just gave you a few examples, right? They must also be understood as metaphors. In a particular, in the Guides of Perplex, etc., I'm going to skip. The Rambam explain what is meant by the metaphor mentioned here. Okay, no problem. It is only found in, right. He is not found within time. So with us, everything is found in a time and space. So you can you come somewhere, you come to your house. You said, what happened to my box, whatever, right? I say, what box? It was yesterday here. When I came yesterday here, I put the box down in this corner. So meaning in the time and place, right? Yesterday 6 p.m. this box was there, but today at 6 p.m. it's not there. All right. So meaning what? Time and space is coordinates that very precise, right? But with Hashem there is nothing like that. He's not found within time. 57 in the guide of the perplex. So I think I said it before, but we do not recommend to read to learn this guide of a perplex, because some of the concepts, here it's like we take some of the bits and pieces, and they are very interesting, but some of the concepts a little contradict like accepted halacha, accepted ashkafa. But for some people, people who are perplexed, yes, that's the only explanation that they will swallow, right? So Rambam did it for these people specifically in mind. So don't people get confused when they read this work. Okay, so this commentary is more than enough for us. Okay, so in Guide of Perplex, the Rambam states that Rambam states that time is also creation. So meaning, so what does it mean? There was not even time. There's not space and not time. There's nothing. Only Hashem. Time is a record of changes that occur within our world. Thus, it is not exist before our world, and came into being only with the creation of this world. So, which is mind blowing, right? God exists above the entire concept of the creation and its time scheme. He is never changing, constant. I mean, let's try to understand this, right? I mean, on one hand, it's very simple to understand. That Hashem creates everything for a purpose. So in all before Hashem created the world, there was no purpose for time. So time, I need to know what day today, what time is it, right? So for keep time, for example, I just finished a class. That class I have only on Wednesday, and and always before our class, always. I mean, so I need to know that it's Wednesday, and I need to know that that class should be before. But if there is no such a thing, if there is no specific purpose, so there is no time. It's very, very interesting. So again, Rambam is telling us that time is also creation. So the time was created. Let me 1 second. I'll mark it. Second. Sorry. The time is also creation. All right. So until creation of the world, there was no need for time, right? The time is a record of the changes that occurs within our world. So meaning yesterday was like this, today is like that, and 600 years ago it was different. Okay, in the same place. So that's why you need time. Okay. Just 1 second. Of our world. So a record of changes in our world of the universe. So the whole universe, all of the planets and everything. We did not say it yet, but I think he's going to explain. I think. Or we said it in Shmona Prakim. I don't remember what it says, right? So we're going to say the whole universe Hashem actually created for this world, for the purpose of this world, right? All of the stars and everything. So meaning again, as Rambam is saying, that time was created right, to record changes within our world. Our world, I mean, right, but it means the whole universe, because the whole universe was created for our world. Thus, it is not exist before. It did not exist before the world, right, and came into being only with the creation of this world. So, meaning because Hashem needs to keep right, give us like some way, some instrument, some measurement to record like progress, okay, and other things, okay, record events, changes. God exists above the entire concept of creation and its time scheme. So meaning this time scheme is all the time is needed for creation, for us to do things. So we need to know why do we need time. Like technically, why do we care about time? Right. First of all, we need to know when the night is. So the indication of the night when it's dark. All right, and but we know how many the days of the weeks, because Hashem wants us to celebrate Shabbos. He wants us to celebrate holidays. So you do need the time. Okay, family purity. He needs right. So that we need to know time. He's never changing constant. So Hashem is never changing constant. And but what changes? Everything changes about us. So a person 5 years ago look at the mirror, now it's a totally different person. Right, and everything changes with time, but not Hashem. So it's very deep, very interesting concept. So I'm going to read this from the beginning, this sentence. He is not found within time, which is commented, so that he would be so that he would possess beginning and or age. So meaning there is no beginning to Hashem. So everything has beginning, because right, because for example, if something was here in this world, for example, oceans, right, or some mountains, right? Oh, not some, all of the mountains were here from the beginning of the world, right? There is some beginning. Why? When Hashem created the world, He created these mountains, He created these oceans. So there is still a beginning, a long time ago, but still there is some beginning point. But Hashem, on the other hand, right? So He would have right. Just He's not found within time, so that He would possess the beginning, the end of age, right? So that Hashem does not have all of this 58. Right, so meaning He's eternal. This refers to the concept, as we explained before, it's translated like inevitable, right? Explain about. We're going to explain. The essential state of all created entities is not being. Afterwards, their existence begins. Ultimately, it will come to the end, and in the interim, it can be measured in units, which are called age. However, the starting point of this conceptual cycle is that the existence of all created entities is dependent on God bringing them into being. God's existence is an essential, unchanging reality. There was never a time when He was not, or did not, nor did He ever come into being. Therefore, He always will be, and He and the passage of time within our framework of existence has no relevance to His being. Again, people who like this this topic. I mean, here in this, what is it, 4 or 5 lines, you can speak about it for 4, 5, 7 hours. Right. Okay. So, but we try to make it short. So again, the essential state of the created entities is non-being. So, essential state, right? After their existence begins. So, meaning, first of all, Hashem has some design, right? And then He brings this design into fruition. So, meaning that He creates these actual entities, right? Ultimately, it will come to the end. So all of the physical at the end dies, right? Even angels, It says that even angels, after they sing songs and all of these things, right, they had been destroyed after some time, and new angels being recreated. So all of the, even though they're not exactly physical, but they physical and spiritual, something mixture. I mean, I don't know, I'm confused. So they're not physical. They're spiritual beings, but there is some aspect of physicality that they have. Aspect, not measurement, but on one hand, but on other hand, we do ascribe measurement to them. So right, there is some form. Right, it's not physicality, but some form. Let's put it this way. Right. So ultimately, it will come to the end. So all of the physical is going to come to the end, and the intermediate can be measured in units. So, but when some entity was created, later when it's died, there is no problem, right? So it's going to exist for so many years, so many days, right? So many months. Some creatures are here only for only several months, right? So, but while it is in existence, it can be measured. So it's 3 days, 5 days. So it's like this length, this height, or something, right? So meaning there's a measure and the age. So meaning we can say even grass or something, right? Start growing. On the day one, on this and this date is 0, right? It's under the ground. That a little higher. So meaning then and then it withered after 4 months, 5 months. So now you can measure in these 5 months like the growth and how it looks and everything. Okay, so. However, and then it died, right? So it's beginning point and end point. However, this starting point of this conceptual cycle is that existence of all created entities is dependent on God bring them into the being, right? But they cannot come into being by themselves. Only Hashem has to create them, right? But nobody creates Hashem. So right, the kids ask, who made God? Right, but because it's a very cute question, right? But because they know that everything was created, right? Somebody made refrigerator, their bed, or their toys, right? So somebody created something, everything, right? So who created God, right? And so all of the creatures depend on Hashem. God existence is essential, a changing reality, right? God existence is essential and changing reality. So all of this universe stands on this rule, right? God's existence essential and changing reality. So Hashem, His existence is never going to change. Existence of everything is going to change. The planets they collide, right? But right, or like being destroyed, this and that, right? The new one, created, right? But not Hashem. There was never time when He was not, right? So meaning Hashem was there always, nor did He ever come into being, right? So again, without all of these things, without strong hashkafa, it's like hard to understand how come. Like everything has to come into being, not Hashem. Okay, but how can He create things, right? If He was not created. Okay, therefore He always will be, right, and the passage of time within our framework of existence has no relevance to His being. So He in this creation, so on one hand, everything depends on time, right, on time in this world. But even though Hashem, in some sense, He is present in everything in this world, but He is outside of this world. Right, meaning that He is He's not affected by time, by anything that is going on in this world. But everyone is affected by time and other things. Okay, 58. Next sentence. He does not change, for there is nothing can that cause Him to change. Right. He does not change. For there is nothing that causes Him to change. So in our world, everything when things change, it's because of something, right? So now is a fall, meaning there is all of the leaves became yellow, right? Withered, yellow, red, whatever other colors. So I mean, why? Because time came, right? So time came, the colder time came, right? And now it's like there is these things that made the leaves to change, and everything is like that. There is some outside force, right, that makes something to change, right? But Hashem does not change, right? And nothing can cause him to change, right? And some people think, what did they ask me just recently? Oh, I don't remember say. So there is a song Nachman, I think, right? And then they have some like I don't remember how they describe to me, young fellow. So if you say it so many times, you write it so many times, like it's sgula that everything is going to be good. I don't remember how to put it. Like that's unbelievable. So like they basically everything depends on this one verse. Okay. So I mean in this one verse, and you can affect Hashem, Chas v'shalom, but that's what they mean. So basically, you do whatever you want the whole life, life, but you say this Nachman, and guess what? And everything, and you flip Hashem, Chas v'shalom. That's what they say. I mean, I explained to this fellow. I said that's how I see it, and he agreed and said yes, that's craziness. Okay. So nothing can change Hashem. But when we learn Torah, when we learn how Hashem upkeep His justice and what is His justice and what expected of us, like you need for Him to change. He is a perfect. What is not perfect is a person that you see in the mirror. We have to change. Our action have to change. Our character trait have to change. So, but many people they come with a thing that I'm fine. I don't want to change. But what should I do? Like a little bit, not to overburden myself, but what should I do even a little bit to change Hashem, right? To change His opinion of me, right? And give me more, whatever they want, which is in my mind, it's very sickening. Like, but that's what people want to do. Like deep inside, like if you strip down all of these reasons and their explanation, that's the main goal, to change Hashem. Commenting. Change comes about because of the interaction between two entities. Each one affects the other. Such the interaction is possible only with the both entities on a similar level. Okay. To illustrate this concept metaphorically, a wise man will not be affected by the insult hurled at him by the uncultured boor. Okay, since the two are on different social planes. Sorry. The statements one makes of no consequence to the other. Furthermore, this allegory is not true in comparison for the wise man and the boor are both humans, while the creator and the creation are on different planes of beings. Okay, thus it is impossible. Thus it is impossible for there to be another entity that can affect change in God. Very interesting explanation. For there is no other entity on His plane of the existence. See Guide of Perplex, etc. Okay, so let's try to understand. So now we see that Hashem is not going to change, right? Because there is nothing that can make Hashem to change. Very interesting. So all of these leaves, we understand, leaves, the tree in this world, nature in this world, rain, all the wind blowing all the leaves, everything in this. So now like when the leaf falls, meaning because of the rain and because of the wind. Okay, so meaning that one entity affected another. Okay, so from the beginning, Change comes about because of the interaction between two entities. So wind and leaves. Okay, that's clear. Okay, right. Each one affects the other. Each one affects the other. Maybe leaves, how the leaves affect the rain. Maybe they slow down a little. Right. Also, right. Also possible. Well, when they are on a tree. Okay, and wind blows them off. Such an interaction is possible only with both entities on a similar level. So now this is keywords, key phrases, right? If they in this world, so meaning what? The way like with this tree, if this tree is many miles away and the wind is here, like where you are, like the most likely the leaves from another place, and they're not going to fall off because right, because of why? Because wind is here, and the tree is there. So meaning they're on not in one place, not on a similar level, right? Okay. To illustrate the concept metaphorically, a wise man will not be affected by insult hurled by to him by uncultured boor. So uncultured boor, some Amaretz, right? Amaretz, right? In olden days it was not so insulted, but later on it becomes insulted. Amaretz. I mean, the person like Amaretz is a person of the land, but an uncultured boor is it's a very brazen individual. There are many of them, right? Unfortunately, right? So who learn a little Torah and they flash to everybody's face whatever their knowledge, and they insult the Talmid Chacham. Okay, since the two are on the two different social planes, right? The statements one makes of no consequence to the other. So they're on different social planes. So this clown said whatever Chacham said, it's not true. He does not know how to write how to spell the subject, right? He gives his opinion, whether the opinion of Chacham is true or not. Okay, so meaning if this Chacham is normal, he's not going to take offense, maybe smile, maybe giggle a little, but right, but that's it. Okay, so furthermore, right, again, he's not going to get affected because of different planes. Furthermore, this allegory is not true. This allegory is not a true comparison, right? For the wise man in the boor are both humans. So meaning on one hand, they're on different levels, on different planes. So that's why the wise man would not get affected. On the other hand, they say no, it's not a good comparison. Why? Because they're all human. Both of them are humans, though in a different level. Yeah, in a wisdom level, they're on the different planes. But in compared to human, it's they're actually good comparison. While creator and the creation are two different planes of being. So meaning all of these creation were created by Hashem, but nobody created Hashem. So meaning the creations cannot affect him, but he can affect creation, right? So now we're trying to prove that nothing can affect Hashem. Thus, it is impossible for there to be another entity that can affect a change in God. So meaning something, as we said, only on the same level and nothing on the same level. So all of the creations on one level, Hashem is different. For there is no entity on his plane of existence. Okay, very deep inside. I mean, I think this commentary is brilliant. I mean, Rambam is brilliant, but for us, for simple people, we need the commentary. And somebody who writes, I think this commentator is a brilliant person. I think so. 59. Okay, continue. The concept of death is not applicable to him, nor is a life within the context of the physical life. Okay, but everything in this world, in physical world, and as we said, beginning at the end. So even mountains, they get destroyed by the weather, right? Maybe it takes longer time, and then water evaporates and renew in the ocean, stuff like that. So everything has beginning and end. I mean, easy to see in the vegetations, right, and humans, right, for sure. Not life within concept of physical life. So even though we call Hashem living God, right? But again, living God is a metaphor to compare him to the idols who are dead, right? Things of wood and stone. But Hashem is we call it living God. So his life, right? Or Hashem says, no, he said by your life. Did he ever say by my? Hashem said, as I live. Right. There is some expression. Hashem said, as I live, this and this is going to happen, or this and this is not going to happen. So meaning, like it's of course they translated it as like a wow of Hashem, like he swears, but there is no physical life. Commentary. The concept, this concept explained greater than chapter 2, so next chapter. Halacha 10. Life and death, as we know them, are result from the connection of the soul to the body, and thus cannot apply to God. There is, however, a deeper conception of life, the true and ultimate expression of this quality, which can be ascribed to God and indeed to God alone. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says here. So again, there is no concept of life with Hashem. So again, so life meaning life is the opposite to death. So it says a person can be alive and can be dead. Okay. This concept is explained. I'm skipping that. Sorry. Next sentence. Life and death, as we know, a result form of connection, the soul to the body. So now we're not talking vegetations, but soul in the body, maybe it's animals too. But let's stick to humans, right? Soul in the body. So the body is alive only when the soul is there. So meaning a person like healthy, right? But Hashem decided to kill him, so he had a heart attack, whatever happened. Even sometimes they say the cause of the death are known, right? Meaning what? Hashem just took soul. That's it. He had enough with that person, right? So, right. So meaning that the life exists in a person when soul is in the body, right? And thus cannot be applied to God because Hashem does not have soul. Right? He does not have soul, does not have body. Okay. There is, however, a deeper conception of life, the true and ultimate expression of this quality, which can be ascribed to God and indeed to God alone. I mean, I think that he's going to explain in this in next chapter, because this idea is very deep. I'm not sure what does it mean. Hashem's life. I don't know. We'll see. Next sentence. The concept of foolishness is not applicable to him, nor is that the wisdom in terms of human wisdom. Right? We say, yes, Hashem is his wisdom, he created this and this. Right? The Hashem's wisdom is in the Torah. Right? We say that, but it's only like metaphorically speaking. Right? Wisdom compared to our wisdom. So I would not think of this, but Hashem thought of it and he put it in writing, in a sense, and made a law for us. So that's his wisdom. Okay. So let's see. The idea is also touched on, in Hashem wisdom. Touch chapter 2, so in next chapter. In the Guide of Perplexed, volume 1, chapter 58, Rambam explained this concept as negative description. Negative descriptions. Negative description. He explained that when we describe the entity in this world, we describe quality that are possessed in a definite manner by the entity. Such description cannot be applied to God, because by doing so, we would be defining and limited him. Okay, so let's go this paragraph by paragraph. Okay, so these negative descriptions. Negative descriptions, what does it mean? He explained that when we describe the entity in this world, we describe quality that are possessed in a definite manner by the entity. So this water is cold, right? So there is quality of water that it is cold. Okay, for example, define. Such a description cannot be applied to God, because by doing so we would define by defining and limiting him. So all of the description are not going to work on Hashem, be it right wherever we could perceive with our senses, size, like existence, time, does not apply to him. Right. So what is the point? We said it before. 1 second. What can we learn new from this? Explain that when describe the entity in the world, we describe the qualities, okay, in definite manner by that entity. Such a description cannot be applied to God, because by doing so, he would be defined and limited him. Right. I mean, I think we said it before, just in different words. So if you give any definition, right, to Hashem, it's like it's already not true. So meaning what? Because it's limitation. So meaning the water is cold and wet, right? The water is wet. So meaning it's not dry and hot. So meaning there is some limitation. Water, it's cold. It's already cold. It's not hot. So it's already a limitation. Okay. By speaking, however, when speaking, however, a positive quality, for example, wisdom, it is also impossible to say that these qualities are not possessed by God, for he is ultimate of perfection. However, we cannot say that he possesses them as we know them. Therefore, the philosophers and the mystics use the term negative descriptions. God, again, this negative description. God is, to borrow the word of the Tikkunei Hazor, wise but not with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding but not with a comprehensive understanding. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says here. Beezrat Hashem. When speaking, however, again from the beginning of positive qualities, for example, wisdom. So wisdom is not something physical. You cannot, I mean, of course you can measure wisdom by asking personal questions or listen to them. There is, but it's not physical quality. It is also impossible. So we said all of the physical quality cannot be ascribed to Hashem. Okay, so now how about wisdom in a sense, like spiritual quality, in a sense, right? Also impossible to say that the quality are not possessed by God. Okay, so meaning wisdom, for his ultimate perfection. So meaning with wisdom, even the people you can compare, you can gauge, right, wisdom of that person compared to wisdom of that person. So now you say that this person is more wise, meaning that he has more of this attribute of wisdom. So meaning, but right. So again, you're limiting someone. So that one person has less wisdom, so he has less of this possession of wisdom, and another guy has more. Right. So meaning there's still way to measure it. So it cannot be applied to Hashem, because he's ultimate of perfection. So all of the wisdom belongs to him. So there is nothing to measure. Okay. However, we cannot say that he possesses them as we know them. Okay, so meaning wisdom. So for us, wisdom is like, I think we said yesterday, right? It's something external. So if I'm learning from a right teacher, from a right books, I would have wisdom. So if I'm not applying myself or I forgot what I learned, so I would not have this wisdom. So very interesting. Right, very interesting. Therefore, the philosophers and the mystics, right, use the term negative descriptions. So meaning, right, so his explanation of negative descriptions, like it's a term, God is God is, to borrow the wording of Tikkunei Chazor, wise but not with knowledgeable wisdom. So our wisdom in this world is knowledge of something, right? But Hashem is wise, but not as wise as we know the wisdom. Understanding, but not with comprehensive understanding, meaning not with our comprehensive understanding. Very interesting. 61. Continue. Neither sleeps nor walking. Right. So it says in right when Hashem created Adam, and Adam sinned. Right, and it says that Hashem was walking in the Garden of Eden. What I mean walking, right? But it says walking clearly, right? Neither sleeps nor walking, neither anger nor laughter, neither joy or sadness, neither silence of speech or human understanding, or understanding of speech, appropriate terms with which to describe him. Sadness, 62. In particular, the Rambam explained the intent of some of these metaphors, guide to perplex. Okay, no problem. Sadness. So all of these things we cannot ascribe to him, describe him. Right. Again, laughter, joy, right, sadness, anger, all these things. 63. Our speech creates audible sounds, very interesting, intelligible to other human beings. This type of speech cannot be ascribed to God. Nevertheless, the Torah, which describes the creation of the world, or the revelation to the prophets, use the expression, and God spoke, right? And God said, etc. Right? So Hashem addressed Moshe and said, for sure, right? For sure we use this expression. These statements must be interpreted as explained in the following halacha. Okay, as illustrative metaphors. Just as a human being speech allows for communication between the individual and a colleague, God's speech in double quotes, is a process of revelation to the entities, which at least according to their own perception, as separate from him. Okay, so let's try to understand. So it's another very deep concept. Let me try to understand. So again, so our speech creates audible sound. So that, even the person, for example, without saying anything in the first side. So meaning something is going on in personal life. Did he or she say that something bad happened? No. But by this expression, you know that something is like disturbing them, right? Or somebody laughs. So now somebody is in a good mood, right? On the person hums a song. So now you know that they're in very good mood. Something like they're very happy. Okay, no problem. So this speech, right, creates audible sound intelligible to other human beings. So by wording, right? So by not only by the sound, but by the wording, by tone of speech, you can learn a lot. Okay, this type of speech cannot be ascribed to God, right? So meaning as we talk to each other. Nevertheless, the Torah, when describing the creation of the world or a revelation of prophets, use the word God spoke, right? As we see in the Torah many times to Moshe, God spoke to Moshe saying, right? God said to Abraham, right? All of these things, right? Or and God spoke to me, right? This prophet started, and God spoke to me. Right. This statement must be interpreted as explained in the following halacha as illustrative metaphors. So Hashem had to give over this and that information to a person. Was it a speech, audible speech? Maybe yes, maybe not. Hashem does not need to speak. He just can give this idea to a person, and the person would say that I heard. Right, in his head, he heard. Okay. Just as human speech allows for communication between the individual and his colleague, God's speech, right? So God's speech is a process of revelation to entities. So meaning the same to people, the same like people talk to each other. So Hashem has to communicate with us, right, on level that we can comprehend, which is least according to our own perception, are separate from Him. In the last sentence, our sages in Chagiga 15a declared, above there is no sitting, standing, separation and connection. 65. 1 second. So in commentators say, so above meaning in Gan Eden. The translation of the Talmudic statement is based on Rambam statement in the 3rd and 13th principle of faith. Right. Rashi and other commentators on Chagiga and place interpret the phraseology differently. Nevertheless, all the interpretations share the same basic thrust. God is above all bodily function. Right? But even though it says in a world to come there is no sitting, there is no eating, there is no intimacy and other things. So I don't remember, one of the recent Chachamim, so he wrote a book. And this book is a Kabbalistic book. And somehow, I think it was translated by not smart people, I think. Because they, with this translation, they made more confusion. Was it translated? I don't want to say the name because it's famous Chacham, right? But he created the Kabbalistic book. Maybe it was said in a class, somebody translated to them. And he translated and he explained the things as Chacham wrote, and to the people who are not prepared. So, and he said, yes, in the world to come, it is eating, and there is drinking, there is bathroom, there is intimate relations. So, and people are confused. How come? Yeah, but say, look, if such a Chacham said, it is. Right? So people got confused. Instead of teaching them the laws of Nitalas Yadayim, they teach the concept that they above their head. And I know who said it. I know who said it. So these people who try to impress the crowd, the students, that they read such books, I think they all like a little simpleton in my mind, because they when they create more confusion, they when you're not clear what does it mean, it's only damage to the world. You create more all of these tzedukim and bitusim that made mistake of what the rabbi said. Okay, so but. We're not going to name the names because it's absolutely relevant. All right. So.